Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Go over my cheat sheet for today's MLB main slate for today on DraftKings. Before we continue though, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate that. You can also follow me on Twitter at ChrisPinell16. And if you want access to this cheat sheet, my pitching model, my hitting model, projections, daily write-up, which I probably won't have a daily write-up tomorrow because it's Sunday, but other than Sundays usually. So if you want access to all of that, hit the link in the description below. It'll take you to my Patreon. We have over 70 members, and I would just love to have you. If you hit the link, it'll take you right here. Then you can have whatever you want. NASCAR, UFC, golf, UFC cashed again. We are at a 90% cash rate at UFC on the cash lineup, which is pretty insane. So shout out to Andrew for that. NFL, when that's coming out soon. I'm very excited for NFL. MLB, which is what I'm plugging right now. And then all access for $20, which has actually been the most popular, as over 50% of the members have done that, just about. So, yeah, I appreciate all the support on Patreon you guys have shown. I wouldn't expect to have gotten over 70 members in just about a month, so you guys are pretty awesome. And those of you on YouTube as well, you guys are awesome as well. We're at almost 1,200 subscribers, so appreciate all the support on here. And anyway, let's get into the cheat sheet. And actually, I really hope you guys had a Red Sox stack last night to combat the Indian stack that scored 0 runs. 0. Man, that was awful. I don't know what was going on there. I mean, it was hot. Pretty good matchup versus Junis, but man, they absolutely sucked. It looked like it was going to be a good start. Lindor got on. I want to say Mercado got on, but yeah, bad start. I mean, not bad start, just bad overall game for the Indians. But the Red Sox absolutely went bananas. I think they scored 17 runs, so they got 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Yeah, Mookie had a good game. JD, Bogarts was okay, but Rafael Devers, he's one of my favorite guys to play because he tends to go under-owned, and he's got that upside to go absolutely bonkers. So yeah, the Red Sox were nice last night. Musgrove did pretty good, 30, and so did Urquidy. Did I say he had a really good game? I was not really on him, but Musgrove kind of almost got him. But then like Kershaw, he had a really good game. I haven't turned the game on in a little bit, but I know last time I saw he had 10 strikeouts. I think he got pulled though, so good game for Kersh. And yeah, that's really all I gotta say about last night. Red Sox, Kershaw, and Musgrove, pretty much the way to go. And then Josh Van Meter, man, that was a good value play as well. So if you had access to the sheet, I popped him in as a really good value, just because he was batting 5th, kind of took Scooter Jeanette's spot. So yeah, if you do get access to this sheet, here's an example of what you'd get. So it's pretty much an all-in-one database. I don't give out lineups or anything. I'm here to help you make your lineups. I do all this work, and I just feel like it'd be kind of silly just to give out a lineup, but you're doing all this work for nothing. So yeah, it's pretty much a data sheet. It helps you pick out who you want to play, because sometimes I miss guys too. Like maybe you would have saw Urquidy had a good lineup, good matchup last night. And I really wasn't on him, but maybe if you would have saw something in the numbers, you would have been. And I like to maybe go back and see maybe I should have been on a guy, and I learned from it. So pretty much we have everything color coded here. So basically their pitcher stats overall, splits versus lefties, splits versus righties. We got Vegas totals when that comes out. And then we got the matchup info, what time the game starts, and I also have projections and park factors on the right, but I'm not going to show those because that's for Patreon members. So you get all this, and then we have the position by position as well. So anyway, let's get into the cheat sheet, even though I already said that. So at pitcher today, you could spend up for Blake Snell, but I am going to want to stay in this mid range for the pitchers, because I want to spend up on Red Sox again, and I also want Indians, but they're more of a value, except for Lindor and Santana, but I want some Red Sox tomorrow, so I'm going to live in this mid-tier because there really wasn't any punt pitchers I liked, like we had Musgrove yesterday, but I'm not seeing anyone like that today, unfortunately, because the past few days we've been able to spend up a pitcher and get a cheap pitcher, which is what I really like to do. But James Paxton, 9,500, all about the matchup here facing a Rockies team who was terrible versus lefties on the road. J.A. Happ had a 8 strikeout game versus them. I think he had almost 30 points. Don't quote me on that, but he had a pretty good game. And if Happ can do it, he's not been very good this season. I think Paxton can. I think we have double-digit K upside here, and I think he's mispriced at 9,500. I would probably be a little bit interested if he was around 10K. So, do like the price we're getting here, and we got some good upside, and he should be able to get the win. I think the Yankees are implied like 2 more runs than the Rockies are. Then Desclafani, 8,300. I really never been on him much because he struggles with lefties, but I've been targeting this cards team with guys like Molly and Roark, so I have to like DeSclafani. He's a much better pitcher than those two. He's pretty tough on righties, and we got quite a bit of them from the Cardinals. And then Jack Flaherty, 8,500. I do like some Reds lefties as one-offs, but if you're not using Flaherty, but he's a better pitcher than his price tag would suggest. He does have ace level stuff almost. I'm not saying he's an ace, but he's up there. He's got some good stuff. He's got a good strikeout rate, and he does struggle a little bit with lefties from the power department. I believe his ISO is above 200. I want to say it's 222, but I think he can overcome that in against this lineup. I know earlier in the season, I think he had 24 points versus them, and really it's just not all that scary. I do think we can get 20 points out of him. Then a catcher, we got Christian Vasquez leading the way at 4,500. Red Sox finally popped off last night, like I said, in a good matchup. And we have another good one versus Asher and the O's bullpen and steamy Camden Yards. And they're going to get those guaranteed ninth inning at-bats because they're the away team. That Orioles bullpen's awful. It's one of the worst in the league. And I believe it's going to be about 100 degrees there. And there's something else I wanted to say, but I forget. Oh, yeah, they're implied 7.75 runs right now. So that might even get up to 8 by game time. So that's insane. So I do like the Red Sox a lot, but I understand it would be pretty hard to afford him. So if you want, you can go to Sandy Leon at 2,500. Not sure if he'll make the lineup, but if so, he's a fantastic value on a team with a 7.75 run total. And I believe he got a pinch hit home run last night. So it would have been nice if he actually would have started and done that. Could have used him, but oh well. Hopefully he can do that tomorrow if he's in the lineup. Then Matt Wieters at 3,500. We want the lefties here versus DeSclafani. I know I do have interest in DeSclafani, but he's not without flaws. And yeah, DeSclafani is much worse versus left-handed bats, so I wouldn't mind if you aren't using DeSclafani to target some of the lefties here from St. Louis. And then at first base, we have Carlos Santana at 4,800. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to sack the Indians again. They absolutely murdered us last night. But bounce back time versus Sparky, who struggles with lefties. He's got giving up a 277. Right around there, 270 something ISO versus left-handed bats, and the Indians are all lefties, and the Royals bullpen isn't very good either. And then Jake Bauers 3,600, same reasons I like Santana, but he's obviously not nearly as good as Santana. But Bauers has some upside. He's not a terrible hitter, and he should bat around 6, I'd imagine. So do have some interest in Bauers. And then Joey Votto 3,700. So Votto and Santana and Bauers, they were just trash last night. But remember, you gotta have a short memory in DFS. Flaherty's good, but this ballpark isn't for pitchers, and lefties can get to him. And this is only if I'm not using Flaherty. I do like Flaherty quite a bit, and I think I do actually have him as a... No, I don't. I don't have him as a core play, but that's Paxton. But I do have interest in the Reds lefties as one-offs. But if I'm using Flaherty, obviously I don't want to use them. Then second base, we got Jason Kipnis at 3,700. Going to see a common theme here with the Indians and Red Sox again. But Kip betting cleanup at this price is just too good of a value for me to pass up. And then Tommy Edman, 4,300. Great hitting conditions, and we'll be leading off as a lefty versus DeSclafani. Like I said, if I'm using DeSclafani or Flaherty, don't use the guys against him. But I do think there is some interesting one-offs, especially because it's going to be 100 degrees in Great American Ballpark, which is a great park for hitting. So I don't think these pitchers are going to be unstoppable, but I do think they'll give up a run or two, but they should be able to rack up some strikeouts to make themselves valuable. Then Lourdes Gurriel, 4,800, facing off versus left-handed pitcher in Alexander in a bad bullpen. Couldn't get too much data on Alexander, but he's not a very good pitcher, and the bullpen's pretty bad too. And Gurriel has been elite so far this season versus lefties with an ISO above 400. Then at third base, we have Rafael Devers at 5,500. He continues to do nothing but produce and is in another elite spot versus this O's pitching staff. Must play on the Red Sox. He's a must play if you're stacking the Red Sox, and he's got 30-point upside as he just had 30 points last night. And then J-Ram, 4,600, creeping up to the 5K range, which sucks because he used to be a huge value. I remember he used to be in that 3K range and the low 4K range. But mid 4K isn't too bad. And he's a key part of the Indians stack. He should be batting 5th. Then Vlad Guerrero Jr., 3,400. I do like the Blue Jays as a cheaper stack versus Alexander in the bullpen. And I know they don't have a Vegas total out yet, but I can imagine it's going to be pretty decently high. And then at shortstop, we got Frankie Lindor, 5,100. Just load up the Indians lefties, and he's their best one. He's going to be leading off, so I do like Lindor a lot. And then Xander Bogaerts, 5,600. Like I said with Frankie, I want to load up on Red Sox. Well, I want to load up on his team, as I should say. But and yeah, load up in Red Sox as well, and you can leave him off your full stacks. And Freddie Galvis, 3,700. If he's batting second, sometimes they have him bat seventh, which I'll lose interest. But if he's batting second, I think this is a great value versus Alexander, the Tigers bullpen. And then in the high-end outfield, we got Mookie Betts at 5,400. I just want to load up on the Red Sox bats. Don't really have to go in depth there. He's one of their best players in the league, and he's going to be leading off for great offense tomorrow. Then Gurriel, we already talked about. Eddie Rosario, 5K. You could also throw Max Kepler in here. But we went the lefties versus Mengden, and with his low 15% K rate versus lefties, and he's got a decently high ISO of 177. It's not horrible, but I do think these Twins bats are better than Mengden as a pitcher. Then in the mid-range outfield, we got JD Martinez at 4,500. He's going to be the highest owned player on the slate tomorrow. I have no doubt about that, but I'm just fine with playing it. Take the free square tomorrow. There's no reason for him to be 4,500. I know he's been pretty cold, but he had a really nice game last night. I think he had 19 points. That was without a homer as well. And he's a 5.5K kind of. He's a 5.5K kind of a player, not a 4.5K guy. So I think we're getting a huge value there. So I'm all about playing JD Martinez, and then I like his teammate Andrew Benintendi as well. Then Michael Brantley at 4K, facing a righty. But Lance Lynn's pretty good, I will say that, but not as good versus lefties. But Michael Brantley, when he's facing a righty, he's on 4K. By rule of law on this channel, he goes on the sheet. I told you guys that the other day. So he's on the sheet. And Lynn has a 33% carry to righties, which is awesome. That's elite. That's elite. There's something bad to say about that. But it does drop down to, was it 18% versus lefties is what I should say. 18% versus lefties. So I do like the lefties here. So Alvarez is in play as well. But Michael Brantley at that price, it's hard to beat. Then in the value outfield, we got Jesse Winker at 3,800. Matchup versus Flaherty is never great, but I do want the lefties versus him. And then Jackie Bradley at 3,600. He was a slate breaker last night. He was cheap, and he hit 2 bombs, and I don't expect that again, but another solid game isn't out of the question. Bauer's already talked about. And Josh Van Meter, 2,700. I played him last night, but he's batting 5th. I thought that was an extreme value. It's not certain that he's going to be back in the lineup again, but if he does happen to be, and he's in a good he's got a good batting order, spot in the batting order, I think that's a fantastic value. I mean, I am interested in Flaherty, but at 2,700, I think you can get a hit or a double off of him. That'd be plenty of value there. And then if we go to some of the core plays and stacks, I got James Paxton, 9,500. I think he's got a great matchup versus the Rockies. And then Kipnis, 3,700. He's too cheap batting cleanup for the Indians tomorrow. And then JD at 4,500, just way too cheap. Then the top stacks for me are going to be the Red Sox, the Indians, and a lower owned stack should be the Minnesota lefties. So that's Kepler, Rosario, Jorge Polanco. So those kind of guys. And Jason Castro if he happens to make the lineup. Alright guys, that's all I have for the video. I'll do the rest for the Patreon members tomorrow. And I think that's about it. So remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. Wish you guys the best of luck. And see you guys for the next video, whenever that is.